Hey guys, welcome back. This is Discussing Comics. I'm Kyle.
I'm Clarence.
And we're going to be taking things a little dark today. And how dark? Phoenix dark. What do you think?
Nobody likes the Phoenix character. Who cares?
You know, I would think if you were watching X3, the third X-Men movie, that's probably true, especially since in Days of Future Past, they basically undid that movie.
I enjoyed that movie. What's the big deal?
She was not a freaking bird. That whole...
I like the movie, man.
I did.
Call me a glutton for punishment.
I didn't. I'm the guy that was sitting in X-Men 2 and seeing the bird in the water, even though it wasn't a bird in the water, and going like, bird, bird.
So answer me this. Is it the Phoenix or the Dark Phoenix? Or is there a difference? Or has it always been Dark Phoenix?
Okay, so... let's talk Phoenix,
sure,
and then that might clear that up a little bit. So for any of you who are fans of the X-Men, I'm assuming if you're watching this, you either want to know about who Dark Phoenix is, or you already know and just are wanting a different perspective. So if you don't know who Dark Phoenix is, and you don't want to know before the movie, just FYI, spoilers. So,
they want to know.
They want to know. So who is Dark Phoenix? So back in the X-Men comics, they wanted to up Jean's powers.
Okay.
So the X-Men went off into space. They were attacked by Sentinels. They were on a space shuttle. The space shuttle was going to crash on Earth. Mm-hmm. And when the X-Men had to get in the protective suits to be shielded from radiation, there was only one person that could fly them back because she was going to use her telekinesis to block the radiation.
Okay.
So she could pilot the ship, and that was Jean. So Jean was expected to die, but then when the ship crashes into Jamaica Bay, she erupts from the water and proclaims, "Now and forevermore, I am Phoenix."
Okay.
So they're saying to some degree that the radiation changed her powers and upped her powers to some degree.
So if I remember correctly from X-Men X2, didn't she get it from a lake or something?
Well, she was in the lake when she first, the water engulfed her, so they kind of tied that in a little bit.
Okay, a little throwback.
So they go off into space, and while they're in space, they come, there is this ancient Phoenix creature that is part of this Shi'ar races, cultures, beliefs, and this Firebird was supposed to be about birth and renewal, and she is the embodiment, they say, of the Phoenix to some degree. Okay. I mean, there's a lot more going on behind the scenes, but Reader's Digest condensed version, she's the embodiment of the Phoenix, okay? So after they save reality, Jean, is the Phoenix. She's got a green costume on with yellow accents. And then after they save reality and do what they're supposed to do, Jean's still, immensely powerful. Well, the Hellfire Club, or one of the original Brotherhood of Evil Mutant members' mastermind, started playing with her head.
Okay.
And he's trying to turn her bad. So as he's playing with her head, trying to turn her against the X-Men, her grip on reality loosens and she goes, off the deep end.
Okay, that makes sense.
So Phoenix then becomes Dark Phoenix when she goes crazy.
So a crazy Phoenix is dark.
A crazy Phoenix. And then when she, instead of I am life, fire and life incarnate, I am death and destruction incarnate, now and forevermore, I am Dark Phoenix. Okay? Cool. So she go. I know I'm going, but you're gonna want to know this.
I'm with you.
So she goes off into space. She kills a race of broccoli people because they look like broccoli. Call it up. They really look like broccoli people.
Okay.
So she kills a planet of broccoli and destroys the sun, eats the sun, and so the Shi'ar put her on trial, and they say that. The Phoenix Jean is, must be destroyed. So the X-Men think we can save her. They go to, space, and it's the Shi'ar Imperial Guard versus the X-Men for the fate of Jean. All right. So while all of this is happening, Jean herself reasserts control.
Okay.
And so she asks Scott to kill her. So they're on the moon. They're fighting. The other X-Men are fighting. They're in this cave on the moon. And Jean, which is something they've never done in comics before at this time, Jean triggers this cannon that destroys her body and commits suicide before the Dark Phoenix can take over.
Okay.
So Jean is gone.
Okay.
Okay? So, just FYI, jump forward to 1985. That was about 1980. About 83, about 4 or 5 years later, they decide, let's bring the original X-Men back. Okay? And in doing so, they wanted to bring Jean back, but Jean was dead. So then the retcon happens.
Okay.
When you find out that the Phoenix was an actual entity that came to Jean on the space shuttle, that saw Jean that was dying, and copies her genetic being, puts Jean in a cocoon in the bay.
Oh, man.
And
you gotta love comics, man.
Yeah. So the whole Dark Phoenix was the actual Phoenix being, the Phoenix entity impersonating Jean.
Oh, man.
And that was what went crazy.
But at that point, did Jean still have the Phoenix at all?
No. When Jean came back, she only had her She went back to having the same level of powers that she did. And they were really cool. They had her even in the same clothes that she was wearing when she was on the space shuttle when she emerged from the cocoon.
Okay. Go ahead.
One other thing. Since then, Jean has went on to, as a human, embrace the Phoenix, get the Phoenix powers, and be killed. So
how did she get the Phoenix powers without?
The Phoenix came to her, and she welcomed the Phoenix for basically.
Because why would she do that, folks?
Yeah. So anyway, that's it in a nutshell, and we're not even talking Rachel.
So going to the movies. Let's look at the movies. We had Sophie Turner stepping in,
right?
And we did see the Phoenix in the last movie.
Whenever he said "let go,"
yes,
and she let go.
So, do you think we're going to see maybe a prequel to how she actually got the Phoenix powers, or maybe what do you think they're going to go into space in this next movie? What are the expectations?
I think they are.
Oh man, that's going to be a hard sell to me.
I really think they are. I think it's going to be X-Men in space.
Do you think they're trying to, maybe since we have this whole Guardians of the Galaxy Infinity War, do you think they're trying to?
Perhaps.
Okay.
No, I think perhaps they are trying to play that up a little bit, but I think they also knew that they made such a screw up the first time around. Because you watched it not knowing who the Phoenix was, right?
Yes.
And
other than the 90s X-Men cartoon.
Okay.
Yeah.
But even with that, you still enjoyed it.
Yeah, I thought
I knew what I wanted to see. She didn't have to go into space, but she needed to be corrupted and turned evil, not just, go from coming out of the water and then killing Cyclops. That made no sense to me.
Yeah. So we did get the one picture of, I think it was Cyclops showing his, or the actor who plays Cyclops showing his new visor.
Oh, cool. I haven't seen it.
It's on Instagram or something. But yeah, I think I'm excited about this movie. I actually like the how they went back and done the prequel type younger X-Men. I think that's been really fun. They, like you said, they retconned a lot of stuff in the movie universe. But I don't know, I think I'm excited for this.
I don't think we're going to have the Phoenix entity. I think her powers have just grown to the point to where I think what's going to happen, these aliens, the Shi'ar, are going to come and they are going to basically say, we're afraid of this mutant on Earth, and that's going to be the play of it. So they may not even go into space for that matter.
But you think they won't even go into how she obtained the Phoenix power? Or?
I'm going to say that there's not going to be an entity involved. I think this will be just the natural progression of Jean's powers.
Yeah. So, of course, we don't have Hugh Jackman, and even if we did have him, we might have to get that CG version, kind of like we saw in the last X-Men movie.
Right.
Do you think it's just going to be an X-Men now without Wolverine recast, or that's one of the most interesting points I want to see in this movie?
So here's my thing. Regardless of who is playing Wolverine.
Hugh Jackman.
But regardless, who's playing Wolverine, if they do the right casting, it'll work.
Man, but like you said in one of our last shows, he's been playing it, 18 years?
He has been playing it for 18 years, but just because it's been a long time with Hugh Jackman, and that's what you've known Wolverine as being, who's to say Wolverine couldn't go in a completely different direction?
Yeah. But I think they made a mistake in the last of these, kind of prequel movies. They showed him, like, when they went to the door, and he was at the door running. Well, no, he actually ran off because he was in the facility.
But they interacted with him.
Yeah, they actually made a mistake by showing Hugh Jackman.
Why?
I think that was the point. If they want another actor to play the character,
is to put him in there.
That would have been a perfect point to put him in there.
Okay.
And by even from the Logan movie, by showing the young Wolverine that looks just like Hugh Jackman, they kind of have painted themselves in the corner to where it's going to be hard to throw somebody else in there, in my opinion.
Unless the Shi'ar have something to do with the MCRAN crystal, MKRAAN, MCRAN, which has something to do with reality. So if they change reality...
we don't need no more reality changing things.
Yeah. But seriously, back to what you said about Wolverine, if they do a good casting, it doesn't matter who plays Wolverine. They could say, we're never going to watch an X-Men movie again. Or if somebody might say, we love the new Wolverine.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, it could happen. I mean, we've basically got a whole new cast for the original X-Men now, so and they seem to be working quite well. But I think the one little screw up was showing Wolverine in the last movie. That's a big mishap in my opinion.
I just say one day we're going to see Wolverine, like a Fox doing like a Here Comes Wolverine.
Yeah.
So you're going to see Wolverine walking in a forest, and you're going to see the claws.
Yeah.
And then he's going to pull the hood back from his head.
So we're going to have Wolverine Day, folks. After some tennis match or something, we'll find out.
Maybe so. And for those of you who listen to our podcast, I'm obviously talking about, for the last 2 or 3 minutes, hinting on the fact that we found out who the new Doctor is today.
Yes.
So
make Wolverine a woman.
Yeah.
Bring in X-23.
Yeah.
I would like to see her. I guess she'd be too young to be in the past, but I would like to see her in a movie because I think she's
Who knows? She may be one day. Yeah. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think of recasting Wolverine, as well as your thoughts on Dark Phoenix or your expectations?
Yeah.
Anything else?
That's it.
All right. Thanks for watching. We'll be back.
All right, guys.